On the Veterans Affairs scandal just about to get underway, she says today's audit from the VA confirms what we've known all along, that the VA falsified wait times to cover up their internal mess, which led to the complete breakdown of our nation's largest hospital system. Joining us now, Congresswoman Jackie Walorski, a member of the Veterans Affairs Committee. Congresswoman, thank you very much for joining us. You're very busy. You've got a hearing to run off to, but it seems to me on this issue that the deeper we dig into the running of VA facilities, the uglier the picture becomes. Could this just be the tip of the iceberg?
Oh, I think it is. And I think, sadly, today, this confirms what we've known for a long time, that, the report said that 57,000 veterans are still awaiting their first appointment. And, we've known this. We've known that this is a systemic problem. And, we've known that they were going to find lots and lots of issues as they dug in. And so, as I've said on the committee for the last 18 months, there's been numerous IG reports, GAO reports, report after report. And now this audit really... The audit kind of confirms what the IG and GA reports have said. There's a systemic problem. The VA has refused to follow those directions and clean it up.
What's interesting is the audit, this new audit, says that 14-day agency target for waiting times simply was not reasonable. It was not attainable given the staffing levels and the demand for these services, and yet the lying and the falsifying of records that went on was rampant, with numerous supervisors, from what we can tell, ordering their troops, if you like, to falsify these records just so they could hit these bonuses. I mean, the whole system was set up to fail, and miserably at the expense of the veterans.
Well, correct. There's been a deliberate scheme that's been created by some bad actors inside this VA. The issue that we're involved in with oversight on the committee is going to have to continue to be very, very quick, very thorough, and extremely bipartisan so that we can actually get to a solution. If we don't root out these bad actors, it doesn't matter who leads the VA. We're going to be right back in this situation in a very short amount of time. That's why I think, as a member of the committee, that we have to continue to drill down and drill down quickly to get to the bottom of this. Number one, before we lose the attention of people. And number two, so that people can hold everybody responsible for this. And hopefully we can get the Senate moving and passing some of the bills that this House in a bipartisan way passed, some 14 bills, still sitting DOA on the Senate side. So, the American people need to weigh in, I think, to the urgency of the hour with the Senate.
But this is no quick fix, is it? And it could cost quite a lot of money to get it right. Would you agree?
Well, and I think that's why we need to bring in a new secretary that has extensive experience in a large hospital network, that knows exactly how to structure something so there's fail-safe types of parameters inside. This VA didn't have anything fail-safe. One of the reasons they've been able to manipulate the data and the waiting times and create a scheme that they made money on with the incentives of bonuses is because the entire IT system of the VA is completely messed up, and that hasn't even been identified or addressed yet.
So while we take the time to try and get this mess all sorted out, what hope is there for veterans who need medical care? Can they go to non-VA doctors? I mean, what fail-safes or what safety nets are being put in place right now?
Well, we just passed on the House floor in a huge bipartisan vote the Veterans Accountability Act, which is going to offer that bridge as to how folks get care and allowing the VA to have the ability to fire these senior-level execs. But again, until the Senate starts moving something out and we actually have a law for the president to sign, it's very difficult. That's why I want to make sure we don't get caught up in a bunch of empty words and rhetoric and see no action. The solution to what you're seeing is the action of these committees on both sides, the House and the Senate.
And with all due respect, Congresswoman, we don't seem to get a lot of that out of Washington these days. It is so partisan. Is this an issue that can actually avoid all of those political, standoffs? And can we get something done quickly?
So far, this has been a bipartisan issue. Politics has not played a role. I intend to keep it that way, certainly on my part and on the House committee part. Our House committee is a shining example of how both parties work together on behalf of veterans. The folks on our Veterans Committee care, and we're in there fighting every day. We just have to engage our partners on the Senate side to join the fight.
And what do you hope to achieve in tonight's hearing?
Well, I think we're going to ask more questions and hopefully get more answers and keep this accountability level at a higher standard than it's been and continue to demand answers. We're going to get IG reports and GAO reports. They're going to say problem, 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 problem. Our job is to hold the new secretary to solution, solution, solution.
That's a big task ahead of you. We wish you the very best, and good luck in tonight's hearing. Congresswoman Jackie Walorski, thank you so much for joining us on a busy night, for sure. All right, time for a look at our online poll results. We are 70 years after D-Day. Do you believe we're still winning? Just 13% said yes. Boy, that is telling, isn't it? Be sure to vote in tonight's poll. The question we pose, do you believe there is more to the Bergdahl story than him simply being a deserter? Some of you out there, I'm sure, believe that's the case.